Okay, guys. One of the things that I've been thinking a lot about, I'm recording this 11 p.m. on Friday the 13th. What is Trump's relationship with the press going to be during his second term? And what is our media's relationship with Trump going to be during his second term? We've already seen indications from people like Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, who went down to kiss the ring the weekend after the election. That was bad, and they're paying a price for that. Their ratings are absolutely in the shitter. And we're seeing every major tech figure bend the knee and donate $1 million to his inauguration campaign, which goes directly into his pocket. But remember that during Trump's first term, his White House leaked like a fucking sieve, man. People in that White House spoke to the press so often. I mean, it was crazy. In my lifetime, I had never seen a White House leak like that to the press. I mean, it was just day after day after day, and it drove Trump crazy. And he has vowed that this time is going to be different. And he's appointing MAGA loyalists in positions that matter that can make that a reality. I mean, his attorney general pick, Pam Bondi, his FBI pick, Kash Patel. I mean, they are loyal to Donald Trump, period. And Kash Patel is insane. He looks like a mentally ill possum if you look at him. But and then it's something I've been thinking about. And then I saw there's an article out this week in Rolling Stone that's titled, "It'll Be Brutal, Inside Trump's Planned War on Leakers and the Press." And I was like, oh, I should probably read that. So towards the end of his first term, BuzzFeed News received an angry letter from Trump's outgoing administration, along with a subpoena that was dated December 1st, 2020. So it was after he had lost the election. And because they had published a story that had some anonymous sources from inside either the White House or the executive branch. Immigration Customs Enforcement, ICE, issued a subpoena to BuzzFeed on December 1st, 2020, demanding that BuzzFeed News identify its sources for whatever that story was. It was an extraordinary attempt by the government to interfere with a news outlet acting under the protections of the First Amendment, and a move that ICE's former chief at the time lambasted as embarrassing. It was a very aggressive letter that accompanied the subpoena. Failure to comply with this summons will render you liable to proceedings in a U.S. district court to enforce compliance with this summons as well as other sanctions. You are requested not to disclose the existence of this summons or subpoena for an indefinite period of time. Any such disclosure will impede this investigation and thereby interfere with the enforcement of federal law. That's a joke. It's unenforceable. It was a temper tantrum. It's not a real threat. There wasn't even a real chilling effect on any First Amendment exercise by BuzzFeed News, because Trump was leaving office. He had lost. He was going to be gone by January 20th. That's not enough time to enforce a subpoena or sanctions resulting therefrom. Well, now Trump's reelected, and the first time they ran out the clock. This time we're starting a new clock, and they're going to have 4 years to pursue this kind of shit. And Donald Trump has made it a top priority to not have the kind of leaky White House that he did the first time. And he's going to use the Attorney General and the DOJ and the FBI to go after people. And he's also going to use those tools to go after reporters and people in the media who report stories that he doesn't like. And, you know, I mean, you guys have heard me say before, it's like with the second term, The first term, he was just kind of a bumbling boob who didn't give a shit about anything other than making money. Now, in a second term, after being prosecuted for 2.5 years, he wants vengeance. He wants retribution. He wants to punish people, and he wants to use the power of the federal government, the executive branch, to do it. He wants to use the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, the FBI, to put people in prison who leak from his White House and the reporters who write about it or report about it. And, you guys have heard me say before, it's like we have to use our imaginations to imagine terrible things and then imagine that Trump and these people who he's bringing in a second term are going to do worse than that. There are going to be no adults in the room. There are not going to be any adults in the room the second term. Every single person working in that White House is going to be full bore MAGA. Everybody in his cabinet is going to be full bore MAGA. Loyalty and fealty to Donald Trump throughout the executive branch. There's not going to be a John Kelly. There's not going to be a General Mattis or a Mark Milley. There's not going to be responsible grown-ups in his cabinet to rein him in. He is staffing his cabinet and this White House with people who will never tell him no, with people that will enthusiastically execute orders that he gives them and do things that he wants them to do. And our media is in bad shape right now before he's inaugurated. It's in terrible shape. CNN is hot garbage, man. And their ratings, I don't even know if they have ratings anymore. MSNBC lost 50% of their audience following Election Day. They're not doing well. The New York Times still refuses to write accurately about Donald Trump. The Washington Post, Jeff Bezos killed their editorial board endorsement of Kamala Harris a month before the election. The LA Times, their billionaire owner, spiked his editorial board's endorsement of Kamala Harris before the election. And Salesforce's CEO, Mark Benioff, owns Time Magazine now, and he just made Donald Trump Person of the Year. So our media is in bad shape, except for Fox News. And, are we going to see reporters getting arrested and prosecuted and investigated during a second Trump term? Are we going to see print reporters from the New York Times or the Washington Post or the LA Times get arrested? Are we going to see cable news hosts get arrested and cable news correspondents get arrested and prosecuted and thrown in jail? That will be a serious turning point. That will be a serious turning point. And Donald Trump is staffing his DOJ and FBI and people in the White House with people who are chomping at the bit to do exactly that. They want to do exactly that because leaks make Trump furious. And he is bringing in people who think that leaking is criminal. They think it's a violation of the Espionage Act, and they're going to prosecute people. Kash Patel coming in as the head of the FBI. He has made no secret of his desire to use the levers of federal power to pursue those he views as anti-Trump subversives in the press and in government. A year ago, he was on with Steve Bannon, and he said, seriously, we're going to go out and find the conspirators, not just in government, but in the media, repeating the anti-democratic lie that people in the media, it was people in the media who lied to American citizens and helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. Patel added, we're going to come after you, whether it's civilly or criminally. We'll figure that out. But yeah, we're putting you all on notice. And Steve, this is why they hate us. This is why we're tyrannical. This is why we're dictators. Well, he got that part right. But Donald Trump already has multiple civil lawsuits against media organizations. In the final days of the 2024 campaign, Donald Trump sued CBS for the ludicrous amount of $10 billion based on how 60 Minutes edited a Kamala Harris interview, which is ridiculous. That lawsuit's getting thrown out. Under normal times, that lawsuit's getting thrown out. We'll see what happens now, I guess. They're going to prosecute reporters. They're going to prosecute him. Last month, Trump personally pressured Republican senators to spike a bill called the Press Act. It was a bipartisan legislation to shield reporters from being forced to reveal their sources. Trump posted to social media that conservatives must kill this bill. But it wasn't just a social media post. Trump was invested enough in the matter that he spoke privately and on the phone with certain GOP lawmakers about making sure Biden never signs this bill. And they killed it. They spiked it. And Donald Trump said in his current Time magazine interview, he's like, the media is under control. They're under control for now. They've healed. And if they don't, then we'll deal with them again. I'm really tired of imagining the worst possible things that can happen, but I think it's necessary. It's not enjoyable. It's really not fun. So we'll all keep an eye on the media for the next 4 years. I wouldn't want to be a reporter right now. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our page. Please give us a like, and please leave your thoughts in the comments. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys soon. Have a good weekend. Be safe.